Thank you, YouTube, and thanks for watching Junkworks Garage. Well, I'm about to do one of the easiest projects I've done on this RZR yet. I do believe I actually have done this in other videos combined with other things, but right now I am going to try out these Bronco ATV. Got them off eBay, actually, I believe. If I can find them on Amazon, I will put them on Amazon, or put an Amazon link below. Otherwise, you'll have to go check out eBay. I think they were cheaper there. But here's the caveat on that. I could only find the front ones, not the back ones. You have to excuse me, I got my door open. It's getting warm out there and I want to enjoy it. So we got people working on other things in the background with air tools, and a fire truck seems to be going like mad right now. So there you go, now you know. Regardless, I could only get the front ones, not the back ones, unfortunately, for some reason. And I'm pretty sure I couldn't even find anything on Amazon. And all I need really is the front ones right now, but I worry that when front ones start going, the back ones probably aren't too far behind. Regardless, super simple project. This is more just to show when I put these on and whether or not they'll hold up. You could get stock ones, these Bronco ones. I'm going to open up the box and show you. So this is what it looks like coming out of the box. Nicely packaged, has some bubble wrap on it. I've checked these. Actually, I opened up the other one and checked it, and they appear to be what I want. So that's a good thing. Something I didn't show you was this right here. They're adjustable, which is a great upgrade over this here, which, in case you don't already know, right here, your machine should come with a tool. If not, you can get one. You can lift and lower and this spring here and actually make it more solid and less solid. I'll be honest with you right now, I lifted it as far as I could, not only for height, but also it rides much better all the way up as hard as you can get it. At least it did for me. Me and my wife are not small people though, so to each their own on that. But it also does give you an extra inch or two of lift as well just by doing that, or half inch. I don't know, to be honest. I am going to go ahead and take the wheel and tire off. You absolutely do not need to take the wheel and tire off. Put it up on jack stands and you can get to a bolt here and a bolt here. Pull that out, put a new one in. I'm just doing it for the effort of filming. Yes, I have fun tools and a lift. Sorry if you don't have that, but you don't need it. I have a messed up body, so I kind of need it now. So there you go, now you know. Plus it makes it much better for filming. Little side tip, take your wheel and tire, and no matter how you're jacking it up or lifting it, throw that wheel and tire underneath there so that if anything does let go, hopefully it'll come down on top of those and not completely crush or hurt you. So now here's the next caveat. You will in here have a mechanism, which is your I call it a sway bar. Most people get irritated. I should call it an anti-sway bar. To each their own. Regardless, I took my sway bar out of this thing and the links, and they are attached to the bottom bolt of this shock here. So mine's a little bit easier, but not by much. And I would also, this is where if you do anything I do or anything I tell you to do and you hurt yourself, I'm not responsible. This thing rides 1,000 times better without that sway bar too, and actually handles better and is way less tippy. I mean, way less tippy without the sway bar. But I don't drive at super high speeds. Admittedly, I have and haven't had any problems, but that doesn't mean you won't. So you're responsible for your own safety. Next, I'm going to take out the bottom bolt first just because I want to, I guess. It is One other thing, I do have a video. I put a lift on this. I took the lift kit that I think it's a 2 or 3 inch lift kit. It's adjustable, but anyway, it's got a bar going across here that you put in for the lift, which brings us out a little ways. So yours might be in a little bit further, but all in all, the rest of it should be the same. We're going to now take off this bottom nut and bolt here. They are both 15 millimeter. Yet again, you don't need this. This just makes life a little bit nicer. Let's see what. And that pretty much just pulls out. I have noticed that when I put the next one on, it's a little bit harder to get this in, which also means it's probably lifting it a little bit more, to be honest, which I don't really want, but to each their own. Well, I keep figuring out how mine's going to be a little bit different than yours unless you have the same lift kit and you took your sway bar out. But the bolt for that is long. So I do have a couple spacers in case you notice that on mine, and that's just purely so that I can tighten the nut up all the way. I've had it that way and drove it for over a year now that way and haven't had any problems. Yet again, you're responsible for your own safety. So that should pretty much take that out of there. Then I'm going to go up here. We'll put the 15 millimeter in up here. And this one, I have to do it by hand because I can't get my fun tool back there. And yet again, it's just a matter of taking a nut and a bolt off. This really is super simple. There's a couple things. Whoops, well, I gotta go grab that. There's a couple things at the end of this I am going to show you as far as tips, so stay tuned, especially if you bought these particular shocks. And that just pulls right on out of there. This seems like a pretty good upgrade if they hold up well. Not only do you get the adjustability of spring rate, so you can make it softer and harder, but all in all, it seems like a pretty good, solid setup here. I'm, not unhappy with the looks and the way it's put together. And the price. The price is cheaper than all the rest. That's kind of why I bought them, or at least cheap. They had good reviews. They looked like they were fairly well built, and they were adjustable to the point where I decided they seemed like a pretty good way of doing it. Plus, on this one, I don't know, but I mean, if I wanted to, I could probably take the spring off the other one and put it on here if I really didn't like the rate of this one for some reason, or go buy another spring probably that if you measure it, you probably could find another spring. So it has stuff that you can replace, it appears. Anyway, I'm not positive, but it does look like I can pull this off and pull this off of here as well. The other big thing I see on there is this right here. The way these are very solid, more solid than the originals that just have kind of a rubber right here that's breaking down, and then you just got kind of a pin in the middle here, so it's all just rubbery and spongy, as to where this definitely is solid. I mean, you can't pull that out of there. The rubber isn't as big, but it's got kind of a sleeve, then some what seems like pretty good rubber, and then the bushing. So we'll see. Yet again, time will tell whether or not we like these or not. So go ahead and I guess put these in, and it is just a matter of sticking it in. Get the top in first. I kind of remember that from last time. The bottom's always a little bit more difficult. The one was actually this way as well. So I am putting a little bit of thread locker on these because I have no plans, especially the top parts, of pulling these apart. I am also using orange Permatex thread locker, which I really like, and I've done some testing on, and it seems to hold good, and it's high strength, but when you want to pull it off, you can get it off. On this one, we definitely got to push down a bunch. So this is where you need to make sure you're jacked up in a good spot here. So I couldn't get that in there. I'm just going to take and hopefully don't push on this. I'm pushing on the front A-arm here. There we go. All right. And yet again, I have the couple spacers here because the bolt sticks out a little ways before the threads end, or before the threads start, I guess. And yet again, I'm going to put a little thread locker on here. I have since realized I am probably going to have to pull some of these apart for a couple other projects that I'll show you down the road at the end here. And I'm going to use this to put it on. I'm not going to use it to tighten it all the way down. Whoops. Up to you to look for torque specs. I'm going with tight. Here's, if you stuck around to the end here, the little thing I'm telling you now that you should pay attention to is that I don't know from the factory where they set those up. Did they set them exactly the same? Or did two different guys put these together, throw them in a box, and they went down the line to head out the door? So I'm going to check my measurement on this side to the measurement on that side. And we are 2 7/8. Good job, because my other side is 2 7/8. So either the same guy put them together and made sure, or at that factory they say, when it's all said and done, we want it 2 7/8 from this edge, or from this edge, whatever that is, or they're both identical. I mean, way closer than I thought they would be, to be honest. And they looked close. So kudos to the factory yet again that put these together. Little side note here. Now, I talked about making sure these were the same, measuring them on both sides. But here's the other thing. First of all, I'm going to make sure these are tight where they are. And number 2, or Z, whichever one you want, you're going to need to probably check your preload and all these things. Go check out other videos for that. There's several videos on adjusting these and how you measure and do things. There's even one, I believe, for the Bronco site on YouTube that you can look at, and he kind of tells you how to measure things, which I'll probably try it out. But there's a couple different ways of doing it. There's the right way, which is measuring everything, checking everything, making your loads, and there's the my usual way. Go take it for a ride and see how it feels and adjust it from there. There are different ideas of what happens when you adjust things, so I'm not even going to go into that argument with people. But my opinion is, if you loosen it, you're probably going to get a softer ride. If you tighten it, you're probably going to get a harder ride. But there are different variances to that as well. So I am going to make sure this is tight and right, so it's not going to go anywhere, not going to rattle loose, first of all. And second of all, I am going to take it for a drive and see how I think it feels, and go mess with it a little while. And if I feel like it's good, I'll keep it there. If I feel like I want a softer ride or a harder ride, I will go with that. Now you should check out what the spring rate on your original vehicle. But here's the deal: I've put the lift on it, I've done other things, I got a different shock on the front than I do on the back, so a lot of those things are going to come into those variances, and I don't have the knowledge nor the want to deal with all the different numbers. I just go by seat of the pants. That's just kind of how I've done things a lot of my life, and it doesn't always work out. So You are responsible to figure out how you should adjust these from here on out. Putting them in, simplest job I've done on this machine. Adjusting them, that one takes a little bit more effort and brains. So now to adjust them, you're gonna need something like that. I bought a giant kit of these for a different project actually, but this did not come with this, so I'm hoping at least the largest one I have will work for these. And there's a hole there, and you tighten or loosen. This is a jam nut on the bottom. This is the one you actually lift it or lower it. I'm not sure if these are aluminum or not, to be honest. That's steel, that appears to be steel. But I don't know. Yeah, these are aluminum. So therefore, I would highly recommend before you do a lot of adjusting on these, you put some anti-seize or something on there. To each their own as far as that, but I would highly recommend that. But I would back this off and tighten and loosen this based on your ride. That's kind of how you do it. That appears to be the one in the kit that I bought that is working. I'm hoping that maybe the next one, I got another one that I'm already using. I use for my drill press, but I don't know. I think a couple different sizes will probably work fine here. There we go. This is definitely the right size. This size will work right here too. Anyway, that way I can kind of hold this, take this and loosen it, but also hold this. Actually, I'm going to use a smaller one on the top because I want a better perch here. And then I'll take and tighten it as well and make sure that they're locked in. That bottom one needs to be locked into the top one just so it doesn't move around too much. So I don't know where it's at or how well it's going to work. I'm going to throw these in my rig so I can play with the adjustments. As well as I have the original one for the original shocks in here somewhere. And that might actually work on these, I don't know, but these are just a lot nicer. That other one is kind of hard on the hands and things. So I would suggest going and picking these up. Yet again, in the description below I will have a link to these ones or something similar. They do say that they're a little heavier duty if you put like a winch or a plow or something on it. So we'll have to see how I like to ride. Yet again, I believe the shock on the other side is shot, but the springs might be perfectly fine. I think the springs are usually fine. It's the shock that usually goes bad, and this shock seems to be okay. The other side was starting to really lean on that side over there. So I decided it was time to change it. It was definitely affecting the handling a little bit, and we were leaning quite a bit. So it's all said and done. Super simple project. As of now, I'm pretty good with those Bronco shocks. I think they appear to be pretty good anyway. Yet again, time will tell. So if you want to wait and see how they hold up on my rig, I don't know if they'll be available anymore or not, because it does seem like more and more things for this rig is starting to go out where you can't buy it anymore so well. And I really like the rig, so that's unfortunate, because I'm gonna have to start building my own parts and pieces if I can't get parts and pieces for it anymore. Regardless, if you enjoy this, or if you have a rig like this, I have several videos on this now. So at the end of this, there'll be a playlist you can click on, and it'll take you to several videos for this. Or go check out my channel and check out all my playlists for all my different rigs, and hopefully you'll find something you'll enjoy. Now get out there and get your junk working. Thanks for watching Junk Works Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master of none. You all have a good one.